have a cup, make it 1.1 million. Or 1 point, yeah, exactly. Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Don't make me. Rudy, can you get both banners?
Yeah.
All right, good morning, everyone. We are sorry for a bit of the runaround. We changed location, so next week we'll be back across the path at the Bush Auditorium. My name is Ron. I'm one of the organizers in the room. We've got Natalie. Raise your hand now. There you go. David. Shay's not here, and somewhere in Kansas City, I think, or on our way over here, is Nancy. So, again, thank you for being here. In case you're wondering, this is 1 Million Cups. And this is by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, launched by the Kauffman Foundation back almost 2 years ago. Last year in September 11th, when we launched here in Orlando, we were the 12th city to be launched. We're now more than 40 across the country and soon to be international. So probably more than 70 cities by the end of this year. Just by show of hands, who's here for the first time? This is amazing. Wow. Yeah. Who will be back? Well, we'll find out later. Just to give you a little bit of a background behind what this is all about, this is not Shark Tank. And for those who have heard this before, you can groan now. This is Guppy Tank. So this is a friendly, uplifting, constructive criticism approach to what we're doing. So we're not here to do that. So if you have more questions afterwards, you can by all means go to the presenters. The presenters will be here for 6 minutes. The Q&A is 20 minutes. And what we need from you is the help of pushing the word out on social media. So if you're on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you haven't liked our page, please go like it. Push that message out so all entrepreneurs know that this is here. This is for every entrepreneur. We're not just looking at mobile apps or specific things, so it's not an Apple or an Android, it's for anything. And just for you to know, if you are or if you know people that are currently launching businesses, we're looking for companies to come in and apply so we can put you guys in the pipeline. We're looking for companies that have scalability, meaning they can grow beyond our boundaries. Best example would be, if you're opening a dry cleaner, we're not the right place for you. But if you have a new way of revolutionizing how dry cleaning is done, and that can go nationwide, then yes, we're the right place for you. So think about it in those terms. Preferably companies that are less than 3 years of age, and ideally that you already have an MVP or minimal viable product. Revenue, if you have revenue, that's great, but we want you to have some experience out there talking to potential customers. So we're going to launch this. Without any further ado, we're going to have Goodwipes come in and talk to us about their product, and we'll go that way. That's fine.
Now all be blasted.
All right, we'll be back in an hour.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm Sam Nebel. Microphone on. I'm Sam Nebel. This is Charlie Sikiak with Goodwipes. And
We don't have YouTube access to this unless we host a login. Any of the wrong people?
we're gonna figure out an audible here. Don't worry, guys.
That's what we ran into.
Anybody needs a refill, now's the time to do it.
Should let us in. Yep. It shouldn't have to do it again. Good, and then it should maybe it should come after this. And you know, for volume, there's a flashing circle on the selection. Oh, yeah. Looking forward to hearing it.
You sure?
I'm Sam with Goodwipes, and today we're going to share with you two very real first world problems that people around the world face daily. Every day, millions of Americans are forced to wipe with inadequate toilet paper when they're done using the restroom. But we've created discreet, below-the-belt Goodwipes that allow you to wipe way better than just toilet paper alone. The best part is, they fit your pocket, so they go wherever you go. And I'm Charlie with Goodwipes. Today's fast-paced lifestyle, it's hard to find time for a quality shower. Worry no more. With Goodwipes deodorizing body wipes, you can be sure to refresh yourself even when you don't have time to shower. So as we saw with Charlie,
I'm Charlie Sikiak, and this is my business partner, Sam Nebel, and together we created Goodwipes.
Goodwipes are pioneers in portable hygiene. Over the course of the past 9 months, Charlie and I have worked over a combined 4,368 hours on crafting this hygiene dream into a reality.
We were sick and tired of being held hostage by dry, scratchy, and unreliable toilet paper. There's never enough. It's 1-ply. It's 2-ply. It's too thin. It just doesn't get the job done. So Sam and I found ourselves reverting to baby wipes as an antidote to this very common first world problem. However, our quick fix turned our one problem into two problems. We were using baby wipes. There's babies everywhere. It's Huggies this. And as much as we like to be pampered, we were adults. We needed these wipes when we were out and about and on the go. When we were out to eat with friends or out at a UCF tailgate, there was always an untrustworthy restroom to be found.
So we knew there had to be a better way to go about this. There had to be a better way to do this. There had to be something more socially acceptable, something more convenient for the user, something you could easily and discreetly stash away in your wallet, pocket, purse, or clutch.
We were onto something, and we knew it. We had solved our problems below the belt. Then we found ourselves using these small wipes on other parts of our bodies. We thought, can't these be bigger, more durable, able to just clean up more stuff?
And that's when we created our deodorizing body wipes. They're like a shower for your pocket. And they're great for happy hour, they're great for travel, they're great if you kind of develop a little bit of a underarm sweat during a presentation or before a hot date, and they're great for any on-the-go use.
So far, we've launched the website, developed our product line, and placed our order for first round of inventory. We're currently speaking with strategic retailers for the retail space, and we just launched a crowdfunding campaign that has proved to be very successful. At this time, we'd like to open the floor for Q&A.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about yourself, where you're from, how you meet.
I'm from here in Winter Park, Orlando. Charlie's from Tallahassee. We met at Florida State University. No Knowles in the building? There we go. Thank you. I think Ron said that we have crab legs for afterwards. So, yes, sir.
Antibacterial, flushable?
Not antibacterial. As far as flushable,
We are flushable.
we are flushable.
A little demonstration. There's a lot of press, a lot of controversy about the flushability of wipes. They're currently clogging a lot of city sewer systems. It's very expensive. Having to spend a lot of tax dollars to get these things cleared out. There's no real governing law right now to claim flushability, so a lot of companies are claiming flushability if it goes down the drain. However, I'd like to do a small demonstration. I'm going to tear our wipe down a little bit. We can show you the size, but just for concentration matters, we'll take it just a little bit off. See, this is the size of the below the belt wipes. So we'll rip a little bit off. What's that? And a couple shakes, and it's gone. So. Extremely safe for septic tanks, RVs, they're biodegradable as well, so if you're camping. Right now, the wrappers are not biodegradable, but the wipes are, so you can leave them to you when you're done, and you're going to get nothing to worry about.
And this is also just for the below the belt wipes. The larger deodorizing body wipes are not flushable, for the record. So, yes.
So I've seen tons of white products out there.
Sure.
So we believe that any business has to have one area of innovation, whether it's price, quality, or convenience. And we're really focusing on convenience. We want to be by your side when and where you need it most. So everything that we're doing is individually wrapped, so you never have to leave the comfort of home when you're in front of people, like today, out on a date, or traveling and want to look your best.
Can you tell something about your distribution and how you're doing that?
As of right now, we are bootstrapping everything, and you're looking at the fulfillment team. So through this first round of inventory, it's definitely going to be a learning process. And we do have plans on expanding and having different fulfillment centers across the nation. Sir.
Good morning. I'm Tony Chapman, patent trademark attorney. How does this compare price-wise to avoid that?
Absolutely.
To the other comparable or
Okay, sure. Thank you. We believe, we come into the market at a very competitive price point, and we also believe we have a great product. Price point, we have, so the individual wipes are packs of 30 for $5.99, and the individual deodorizing wipes are packs of 10 for $7.99. Anything else in the deodorizing space, there's one other that's individual. We come in 30% lower. And then for the below-the-belt wipes, there's one other player that's more niche, geared just for men, for below the belt, and they come in at $9.99. So we're significantly lower than them. We are a little bit higher priced than if you were to buy like a 40-pack, but you don't get the convenience with that. So we feel pretty strongly with our market position at price.
I like the video. I thought it sort of reminded me of Dollar Shave Club kind of thing.
Excellent.
You talked about going after retail as an omni-channel for you. Are there alternative channels to being in public, Walmart or other places you can sell this product?
Absolutely. So something that we're working on now is, I think we talked about this outside, is the music festival scene. A lot of press, a lot of blogs out there saying that these 1- and 3-day festivals, that you have to have wet wipes as part of your survival kit. And we want to be the player in that game. So we're working on some key relationships to get out there. We're actually going to be at Sunset Music Festival in Tampa. It's a 2-day festival where there'll be over 50,000 people next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, doing some promo. And ideally, we want to be working just hand in hand with the promotions teams and those vendors, sell them to them so they can give their customers and patrons a heightened level of patron experience.
Work with them hand to hand as a whole. Interesting conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're actually, we really like to be a ground level, boots on the ground type of team. And so when he says we're going to be at the music festival next weekend, we're mostly going to be hanging out by the porta potties. That's just really where we're most effective. So, yes, sir.
Go Knowles.
Thank you. I agree.
A couple things. Are they fragrance and non-fragrance?
Yeah, okay, so
The below-the-belt wipes, the ladies' fragrance for the gals is a light lavender, and for the men is a modern cedar. Now, for the deodorizing wipes, both wipes smell relatively similar. It's more of a refreshing tea tree oil, so it doesn't change or alter your scent or any way that you want to smell. It just cleans up and gets you feeling good.
The reason why I ask is that I think there's a huge opportunity for the target in the military. And you think about how much special ops they have.
Excellent.
And we had to work in different environments. The thing was we couldn't have fragrance because we're out in different environments. You don't want the animals and all that kind of stuff smell. So if there's an opportunity for that target, as well as motorcycle groups, all those kind of things, I think you've got an excellent product to present to them. If they ever manage to target hunters.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hunters, all those things as well. So just think about the fragrance and non-fragrance.
Absolutely. We're definitely capable of doing fragrance-free.
Just picking up on that, maybe, be delicate, but I just brought the idea that you might consider as a way of giving them to the homeless and working with like for the homeless.
Okay.
Because you talk to people who serve the homeless, they'll say, don't give money to big socks, lip balm, things like that. My people take the pressure by being homeless.
Okay. Great idea. I love that.
And we will definitely touch on this again for our ask, but we are on rockethub.com. We opted for we chose a goal for $5,000. We beat that goal in a week, so we're right around $7,000. We have about 2.5 weeks left, so rockethub.com. Yes?
Where are you manufacturing and what are your costs?
We are partnered with a manufacturer in China, and as far as the latter question, I think we would opt to discuss that perhaps after. Yes, sir. Jeremy, what's up? How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good.
When you're talking about distribution, do you know any of the merchandising or logistics requirements that the larger retailers have to make sure you're in compliance with this?
I may ask you to be more specific. However, we are definitely learning things through different distributors.
I asked this yesterday.
Right.
Somebody, and maybe something you can go back on your manufacturer, because I guess certain, if they don't want to handle your product, places like Target or the larger retailers, so they put
Okay. Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Another place may be middle schools, because I work at a Northern Middle Club and I work as a tutor in some of the middle schools. I'm middle school in town, and my kids, they always have an odor. But I mean, hygiene isn't a big thing, so not just doing that and giving it to them, but going into schools and teaching hygiene, how to take care of yourself after a certain event. So if you guys become the hygiene wizard, well, that can also be a good way to promote the brand and promote that hygiene.
I like that. And something that we talked about is, I just remember in middle school, we had mandatory physical activity or PE, and the locker room smells disgusting. You're out there, you're playing games, you're playing football, you're sweating, you're right back in your school clothes. I think there's a huge market to target moms of the middle schoolers, elementary school kids and high schoolers to give to their kids and have them store these in their locker room, freshen up, stay clean during school.
So, great businesses start locally. What kind of a local market are you trying to go after, specifically like gas stations or gift shops?
It's funny that you asked that, Shahir, because we actually are being featured out in the tourist market around Disney. Shahir's family happens to own a couple retail shops around the Kissimmee area, and so we went out, took a look at some of those, and we think it's a perfect fit. And tourists are very sweaty. They're very active because they're at Magic Kingdom and whatnot, tons of theme parks. And I believe in 2010 in Orlando there were about 50 million, is that right, tourists. So that could be a really big market for us. Yes.
Have you considered higher end hotels? They buy in bulk, they put it in all the restrooms. They start using them, they see how convenient they are.
It's a good thought. Thank you. Yes.
I don't know if you've looked into this at all, but certain subscription-based companies like Birchbox, where they actually send people specialized boxes and they give you basically, one of these, and then they hold them on the website so that people can buy them. That goes nationwide, they could grow pretty quickly. So I'm going to try to see if we can partner with a company like that, just kind of get it in people's hands across the country.
I will say, and thank you, it's a great point. I will say, make sure to follow us on social media at Goodwipes, because we have plenty of announcements with some of the items that you guys are talking about, of some partnerships coming up with similar concepts. I think you guys all like it. So, yes.
I want to plus you, but before I plus you, just want to throw out an idea to when you're doing asking features, maybe you could throw in there virtual team members, people who will lend their resumes to you so that you can build your team. Because money will, it'll go to the A team with a B plan before we go to. Got it. Now, what I was going to say on the hotel idea is that private label. Open yourself up to that. Let them sell.
Sure. We're very open to that. Thank you. Yes.
Somebody brought up Dollar Shave Club earlier. Have you thought about doing a subscription service amongst yourselves?
We are definitely considering that and testing that model. For example, on our crowdfunding, one of the rewards is we have a couple, they're technically subscriptions where you can buy 6 months worth, and we'll be sending it every month. So we're going to be testing that actually. So thank you. Yes.
What do you think your team is missing right now, besides fundraising you guys are missing to really propel you forward?
Well, I think, and you can speak, but I think we do great with each other. However, more and better and creative people like Brian Wilson, who's done a great job with mentoring us and pushing us further. Shahir, who we met at Starter Studio. It's more people, more creative people, feeding off positive energy and stuff in places like this. So.
I would say experience. We have a lot of fulfillment questions, inventory management, cash flow management. Those are things that we went to school for, but at this point we haven't really had too much experience with. So that's part of the learning curve. There's a ton of great ideas about there to go huge, big box, but we want to set the cornerstone so that we can have controlled growth and know what we're doing, so that when it's time to bring in outside funding and it's time to reach out to fulfillment centers, we actually know what we're asking for. A lot of times we get asked for help But at this point, we're so early in the game, we just really don't know what we're asking for yet.
I like the video, but what I didn't like is when it's supposed to be forward.
The littering?
But your demonstration with the bottle should be reviewed.
Excellent, thank you. And yes, this was it was actually shared with us by our manufacturer just recently, so it's something that we're very excited about. I definitely agree. Please don't worry, I definitely picked the wipe up, and it is 100% biodegradable, so if it had to stay there, I'm sure it would disappear. Any other?
One last question. The only thing last thing I'm thinking, are you, do you have scalability in place if a flood happens? So you can actually fulfill a bunch of orders?
Right. And
because that whole can collapse even within.
absolutely, yeah, we've had, a lot of people have had the idea to connect with the Red Cross. And our source manufacturer is capable of fulfilling very large orders in a very short amount of time. So, definitely.
So, in the tradition of 1 million cups we have to ask you what you need from us. So again, we as the audience, as the community, are here to help you. And so, what can we do?
Well, and thank you for the opportunity again, guys, and thank you very much. This has been really awesome for us. But if you insist, we do ask that you explore our crowdfunding campaign on rockethub.com. That was a screenshot, I believe, from last night. So we are making some moves, but we would like to hit our stretch goals of 11,500. And we just ask that you explore it, and if you want to see us succeed, we invite you to share in our success. Contributions start as low as $5, and if you want to try the wipes, actually two things. One, you can pre-order them for $10, and two, we have a bunch of the female wipes here, so after the presentation, ladies, if you want to try it out, we have them for you. So, yes, and I recommend, yes, thank you, Alan. Take them home, please, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Alan.
So, a little bit of housekeeping and a couple announcements as we get ready for our next presenter. A couple things that I want to bring up. A, how many of you have heard that this weekend we're hosting a Lean Startup Machine event in Orlando? First time ever. All right, great. How many of you are going? It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Lean Startup is based on, real quickly, because I'll tell you more about it, but Lean is not lean as in cheap, but lean as in efficient, and how to find out if someone really cares about your idea, and really validating the concept and the premise before you actually go out and spend a lot of time, money, and effort in creating the product. So a little surprise for you guys, David, who is one of the sponsors of Lean Startup Machine this weekend, has one ticket that we're going to raffle, so one free ticket. So if you, right now we're at $250, so it's a $250 ticket. If someone wants it, give us your business card and we'll raffle it out, but that means you're committed for Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. It's right here at Rollins, right down the street next to Ethos, and it's a phenomenal way to go ahead and learn on how to do this. No.
Actually, I don't want that. And if you don't have a business card, then...
Just come and tell us. But
yeah, we can write out one of our business cards, so that's not a problem. So if you're interested...
just come on over, give us your business card, and we'll do a raffle right before the end.
Does the one this weekend have a particular theme?
No, it's a
startup weekend.
It's a Lean Startup Machine, so there are no themes. It's
On customer validation, before you even write code, before we do anything.
and dovetailing on that, I just wanted to let you know that on the 20th next week, there is a mock trial being held by two of the meetups that are dealing with agile versus waterfall versus lean. So I'm getting a little bit deep in the weeds on that, but if you want to know more, if you're interested, so there will be actually a mock trial going on between the various methodologies on how to launch a startup. So again, by all means, come and tell and ask me or David, and we'll tell you more about that as the week, as that progresses. So. Just one other thing that I want to tell you that was really amazing. Last week, Natalie grabbed the mic and said, hey, by the way, guys, we're having a little problem in trying to find a coffee sponsor. And that was just an amazing thing, because what has happened is that you as the community just came and rallied and came to me, to Natalie and Shay and David and said, hey, we're in. How much is it going to cost per month to do this? And so Melissa stepped up and said, don't worry about coffee. We got you. Collab came up and said, we got you. Several of you came up and said, we're here, we'll back you up, and we'll give you coffee for a month, 2 months. So thank you guys, because this would not happen without the community. So again, thank you for doing that. So there will be coffee next week. So that's a good thing. And we'll be back across the street. So 3 times, yeah, there'll be 300 people next door. Alan, you ready? All right. Without any further ado, Alan Kupetz.
Good morning. Thanks for coming. Thanks for sticking around. I'm Alan Kupetz. I'm the CEO and founder. Better? Good. I'm Alan Kupetz. I'm the CEO and co-founder of mCast Networks. Thanks to 1 Million Cups. Thanks to all of you. What do? mCast delivers, and actually it's going to be broadcast, but we'll start with delivers, video to mobile devices in densely populated venues that can't be served adequately or affordably by cellular or Wi-Fi. I'll explain more, I promise. We're a verb. mCasting is a verb. It's short for mobile broadcasting, and it's the way you're going to get video content when you're at densely populated sports venues. So here's the problem. If you remember at this year's Super Bowl, inside the stadium, the NFL banned video streaming. There wasn't enough bandwidth capacity to support everybody. It would have crushed all the Wi-Fi and cellular networks. And why should they go ahead and build better Wi-Fi and cellular networks at sports stadiums? It doesn't make any sense. They're only used 10 times a year, 4 hours a week. There's no return on investment. But on game day, the fans expect to have that capability there. They did a poll of what it would cost to actually do most stadiums. They did Foxborough for $6 million. They did it a little while ago. Now the current estimates are it would cost $25 million to totally build out a Wi-Fi system inside a stadium. They did a poll of the NCAA. What do fans hate the most about going to an NCAA basketball game? Overwhelmingly, the #1 complaint was that Wi-Fi sucks and my phone doesn't work. And these are teams that actually win. So mCast Networks is a game changer. Here's our solution. This is your grandpa's solution. Back in the old days, when we broadcast over 700 megahertz of spectrum and you guys had UHF antennas on your roof and rabbit ears on your television, that's how content was delivered to your homes. That's how we deliver content to you in the stadium. It's self-selected content. Here's an example. While you're at a game, you can pull out your cell phone, and you'll see on the top row here, there's 4 different video images. You can choose. You're watching the game live. Maybe you have great seats in the middle, and a lot of action is happening down at the goalpost. You can choose which picture you want, click on it, and that image will come up, and you can watch it. Click on it again, and you'll go back to the main screen. And if you'll notice, underneath the bottom, there's the red, yellow, and green lines. That's a social media feedback loop being used through traditional wireless networks that's letting you know what other people in the stadium are watching. It looks right now like the cheerleaders are the hottest thing to watch, and so we'll click on them and we can see what everybody else is watching. You'll choose the content that's relevant to you. So what's our business model? When I first came up with the business plan, we looked at 3 different possible ways to sell this product through: institutions, venues, and end users. Institutions proved not to be a good model. We went and did a little lean startup review of the market, and NFL or NBA, decisions aren't made at that level. They're made actually by local stadiums, local teams, because they have relationships with their own advertisers. They want to push their own advertising content through. End users isn't really manageable for us. I was a small company going to support 70,000 people at a basketball game, at a football game for 4 hours. So we've decided to focus on venues, and we're going to go after, for example, the Amway. and everything at the Amway will be you'll be able to do mCasting at any Amway event. Concerts, Solar Bear games, certainly the Magic starting in the spring. Why would you invest? My favorite question. The first is the size of the market. There's a lot of people who have great ideas, and they're going to build a nice lifestyle business, and that's wonderful. God bless them all. But this isn't an investable deal if the only thing we're going to do is pay your mortgage. So this is a huge business. By 2016, 70% of all mobile content is going to be video. It's going to crush the internet and Wi-Fi, and we have a solution. Here's another reason to go after it. If you looked at just the NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball, and you got $5 per fan per year, not $5 per fan per game. If we got $5 per fan per game and got just 10% of those fans to license our product, it's a $40 million business. That's an investable deal. Some other reasons to invest are the management team. Richard LaCursey, I'm Alan Kupetz. Richard LaCursey, my business partner, and I were part of a company here in town called Mesh Networks. We went from zero to a $211 million cash exit in 4 years. These gray hairs, I didn't buy them, I've earned them. And I know how to do this, I've been to this rodeo before. Our partners are Spectrum Bridge. They invented the technology that allows us to use digital TV white space in real time. And Benbello's a local venture fund. Fair disclosure, I'm a member of that also, and they wrote the first check to us to get us started. Nobody knows me better than Richard LaCursey and Benbello, and they were willing to write the check. I hope you will too. We've created some barriers to entry. First of all, we've licensed all the critical patents. Spectrum Bridge has filed the 25 key patents that they need, and 13 of them have been issued, and we have an MOU with them to have unrestricted access to all of that patented technology. And at the same time, we're co-developing new applications with them. They're very much focused on the delivery, how to get that content from the TV camera in the stadium to your phone. We're focused on development from the fan experience. What is it that you want to have on your phone? And we're developing the apps to make that possible. Finally, our approach is an investable approach. This is a commercial off-the-shelf hardware. We're not asking you to buy another device. You already bring your mobile phone to the game, and you're tweeting and Facebook, and you're doing everything else. We're just giving you one more thing to do at the game. And also, we're doing licensed back-office software. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. People already know the AAA authentication, authorization, and accounting. We already know how to collect $5 from you when you show up at a game. We're just going to buy somebody else's package and build it on top of our application. Is there competition? Of course there is. If you don't have any competition, go home. If you think your idea is so great, someone else must think it's great too. There's a company called FanVision. They have a proprietary device. It costs $199, and then you have to pay per use every time you go to a NASCAR event. They have a lot of customers. It's an interesting market for them. But the fact is, you have to buy their device, and now you're carrying two things instead of one thing, and you're listening with these big headphones, and you're juggling this, and you're playing with your mobile phone. It's a solution, but I don't think it's the solution. Of course, Wi-Fi is always going to be a competition, and I hope stadiums continue to build Wi-Fi. We depend on Wi-Fi for our feedback loop, that's social media, so I know which sites you're watching, so I can tell everybody else what the most popular camera angles are. And of course, cellular companies continue to roll out 4G LTE and eventually 5G cellular coverage. That's good for us, no problem. Finally, part of the lean startup approach is to have a minimally viable product. On April 9th, just this year, we teamed up with Rollins Sports to demonstrate this live at a Rollins lacrosse game. We're ready for the action to begin. It took us less than 10 minutes to set up in a place that's not our home base, right? We plugged into their existing hardware, and then we walked to the other side of the field, and we were streaming that video, not IP streaming, not plugging up the wireless networks on Rollins. This was being broadcasted over 700 megahertz to devices on the other side of the stadium, and it worked to an iPhone. We only did 2 channels for this game. One was the camera, and we also plugged in a DVD and played a movie. And people in the fans could switch between the movie. Rollins was losing. And we were streaming the Bourne Identity, so somewhere towards the end of the game, I think we had more people watching the movie than watching the game. The fans seem to like it, especially when the guitars score. Here's our biggest single obstacle to success. It's that today, US phones don't have the broadcast chip built into that phone. You have to buy a dongle, and that's more than just an antenna. There's actually a chip here that allows you to receive that mux signal, those 4 channels, and then choose which one of the 4 you want to watch. In Europe and Asia, this technology already exists. For the US system, it's not here yet. It's coming, but it's not something we can control. Apple doesn't care if I want them to put this in the iPhone 6 or not. I've called them, they haven't answered. Thank you. While you're mCasting all this great content at your sporting events, please don't annoy the people around you. We go into the power jack, not the headphone jack. You'll be able to have your own headphones. And Ron always asks, what can you do for me? In the near term, this is what I'd really like, is for you to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And in exchange, on the way out, I'll be outside, and I hope you'll take a pair of mCast headphones. They'll work on your phone today. And for the women who are taking the wipes, these you can use in public today. I'm grateful for your time and even more appreciative for your ideas about how we can go more faster. Mr. Sardi, Professor Sardi.
A couple of things come to mind. Are you only focused primarily on sports at the moment, or are you thinking, because there's a much bigger audience and that's facing appearance across the world, especially in the developing world where they can't get access to broadcast, it could present a viable solution for them. But it's going to require a slightly different model in terms of how you collect. I would imagine if you sold those dongles, that they could be sold in stadiums or other places where that could be tied to some revenue stream.
We started talking to Marty Rubin. If you guys know him, he runs Smart City. He knows more about conventions than anybody I've ever met. And he's talked to us about being able to do this at a convention center. It gets us around the dongle problem because everyone who's been to a convention, you get a little goodie bag and it has all this. So someone could be a dongle sponsor. It's $20 retail. I'm guessing the dongle is probably $3 in cost. And we could do that. So I think convention centers are actually a good model for us. So we've looked at college sports teams. Concerts are an interesting venue too. People do a lot of impulse buy. You're at a concert, you went to hear Bruce Springsteen, he's singing Rosalita, and you click on Buy Me Now, and you make that song your ringtone. We all know you can go home, download the video, strip off just the audio and upload it to your phone for free. But right there when you're at the concert, maybe you'll spend $5 and you'll buy that there. Sir.
Okay, the most litigious people in the world are the NBA, the NFL, et cetera. How are you dealing with the rights issues since they don't like to let their content be seen anything that they don't control?
It's a great question, and actually we've spent a lot of time with the Magic, Jeff Lutz, the CIO, and we are not broadcasting this outside of the stadium. So you are in the stadium or the arena, you've bought a ticket, you have rights to observe what's there and to watch what's there, and all we're allowing is that the people who've already bought a ticket, who are already resident in that venue, to see alternative camera angles in real time. Yes, ma'am.
Are you using, follow up on that, what speed are you using to where you're getting your camera system? 10 minutes to set up, didn't take your
Yes.
10 minutes.
Right. So at a place like, for the Orlando Magic, at a place like the Amway, those cameras are already there. Some of that content is being streamed to the overhead projector, and some of that content is actually being streamed to Fox News, Fox Sports, or whatever it is. So all we are is taking that stream before it either goes to the overhead or before it goes out to the rest, and we're duplicating that content, just a splitter, and then broadcasting that inside the stadium.
So your license agreement is with venue production, not with the network?
Yes. We are not, although we use broadcast technology rather than IP streaming, we're not broadcasting in the television sense of the
You're
word.
not doing the production, you're contracting with the venue to do that. So they've already got a license as well. to broadcast.
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Great. So the reason that commercial radio needs to have a buffer is that they have an FCC license that prohibits them from saying 7 words during certain times of the day and some words any time of the day. So this isn't an FCC license. We're not using the public airwaves. We're using a temporary license. This is TV white space at 700 megahertz, and we're broadcasting it locally. So we have an agreement to use this frequency, and we own it. So the similarity would be if you own a cell phone, you can call up your boyfriend and say, go to hell, and the FCC can't stop you and there's no buffer because the people you're using that frequency have the right to deliver any packets they want, and so do we. Sir?
What's the status of that white space? Is that initial auction at any point soon, or is it reserved?
Yeah, so the government, if you remember a little while ago, Grandpa couldn't watch TV with the UHF antenna anymore. He had to buy a digital converter box. So all of television has been moved from 700 megahertz. Actually, this goes from 400 to just 450 to just north of 700. It's the whole UHF band. Those people have all been migrated out. So people own that spectrum, but they don't use it at a global basis. There's no one who's doing everything at 425 somewhere. So this spectrum bridge has a patent on a technology that allows them to go see who owns that frequency in that city at that moment, and it gets you a 4-hour permission, and the owner of that content is compensated. In the United States, the Catholic Church owns more frequency than anyone else but the US government, and so they're often our vendor. We actually don't know. Maybe they'll own this frequency in New England, but they won't own this frequency in Denver. So it doesn't matter to us. We'll pay whoever owns it. I'll come back to you. You had one. Let me catch the gentleman in the back. Yes, sir.
Two-part question. One was the onboarding cost for the venues, and then number 2, is there any particular reason that that slice of spectrum as opposed to working off of a big phone that has on network?
Right. So the first answer was, I'm sorry, the first question was about
Onboarding cost of venues.
none. We provide this service. The transmitter and the MUX today cost about $4,000. They run on straight electricity. It's a very low-cost product. We'll give them that. And by the way, it's only temporary. It comes in a little box smaller than a travel suitcase. We'll plug it into your system. When I'm done, we'll unplug it and walk out the door with you. I'm sorry, the second one?
The second one was any particular reason with that slice of spectrum as opposed to one that did 4.5 o'clock.
Yeah, so the challenge is that the technology that supports that today is a traditional IP stream coming over Wi-Fi or cellular, so we're trying to avoid that, so we're broadcasting. And don't make no mistake, this is a broadcast. This is a one-directional signal. You can't use this frequency to go back and contact us. That's why we're delighted that stadiums continue to build out Wi-Fi and cellular capacity. We're going to send content to you, but if you want to talk to us, you're going to have to talk to us using an alternative channel. Sir?
Do you need to limit the range on it at all? Like, as opposed to somebody not buying a ticket, standing outside the arena and having the dongle and, being 15 feet from the wall to pick it up? Or?
So I like the question, and yes, with wireless, you can it never fits nicely into the fishbowl, right? You can stand right outside this building and get Rollins Wi-Fi. That's the nature of wireless. It's certainly the nature of broadcast. But we have some interesting ways, we didn't come up with them, so I can brag about them, about how to manage some of this. We went to the Magic and we met with the woman who manages the relationships of those people who, like Kia Motors, who has a big Magic display there. So as part of the authentication, authorization, and accounting process, maybe you'll need a code to access our frequency. And the way you're going to get that code in a Magic game is you're going to walk up and sit in a Kia, and they're going to give you a 2-minute pitch about how great a Kia is and how affordable it is for you, and then they'll give you the code that'll allow you to use that. It'll be a single-use, specific code for you, so someone on the other side won't be able to. If you get that code and you transmit it to your buddy outside, just buy a ticket. It's only like $40. Okay, it's a lot easier. Yes, ma'am.
So this dongle, where do people get them from? And I can't wait until we're talking about sports, but okay. So this device, where do you get that from, and how accessible is it for everyone? Because no one's thinking about having that before the game. You don't think about wanting the services before you're at the game when you decide you want to have dog and you want to have this service.
Right.
So how do they get that while they're there? And then the second question is just how do they know that this is available so that they can ask?
That's our single biggest problem, no doubt about it. We're guessing that we'll start maybe with season ticket holders. As part of your season tickets and your parking pass, the Magic or someone will send this to you, or it'll be available to you at the games. They'll be cheap enough, they'll be almost disposable, although of course, like the lady mentioned earlier, I hope we don't throw away anything like this. And maybe we'll brand it. There's some other interesting things we can do with this. If you have to pick it up from me at the game, I know a little bit about you because I know where you're sitting. So you sit right down front, you're really rich. At the Amway, I know that you drink Pepsi. The people right behind you, the 20 and 30 somethings, can't quite afford the most expensive seats. I know those people are drinking Mountain Dew. And the people in the back who are just lucky to be in the arena, maybe they're driving Kia. And so on my stream here, I can target different advertising to different people depending on where they're sitting in the arena. And there's some interesting opportunities here to help them target their advertising. Yes, sir.
Thinking it seems like the target is more so sports. So as far as advertising, more so target the sports viewers, the sport networks instead of
Well, not the networks, but I'm going to target you while you're in the stands. And I'm going to maybe show you a Budweiser commercial, or maybe you're going to have to watch a Budweiser commercial every 5 minutes to keep getting access to it. You know when you go to a movie theater before the show starts, they show you a Coke commercial? It's not to convince you that Coke's better than Pepsi. They only sell Coke. It's just trying to get you to make that impulse buy, get up out of your seats and go buy a Coke. And if you get up out of your seat and you go buy a beer, there's someone who will pay me to get you to go buy that beer. The young lady in the back. Yeah, so I am not a believer in revenue models that are based on advertising. So I'm old-fashioned. People are going to license our technology on a per-user basis. The venues are going to be our companies, are going to be our customers, and maybe they'll pay us $5 per fan per game to do this. The business is huge. Too many people spend too much time on small markets. I showed you a $40 million market per year with just 3 sports, with just $5 per year of revenue. If I get $5 per game of revenue for the Magic, I have $1 billion business in 3 years. If I can solve some of the problems that Natalie mentioned. I must be getting close to out of time. I'll stay here forever, but...
So you've got a couple more minutes.
Couple more minutes, yes ma'am. Please.
You say the venue is the buyer, so is it the sports team holding the thing in the venue? Is it the arena itself, and do they kind of divide that up a little more closely, and then...
It's the arena yourself to answer that question. It is the actual arena, the people who provide the physical facilities.
And you think they're going to buy this as a value add for their customers?
Yes. They have a terrible problem. We've spent a lot of time doing some research, talking to people. People don't come to games. Sometimes even season ticket holders. We looked at the Denver Broncos. The weather's a little cold, even passionate fans. It just kind of sucks to be outside. And TV is great, and I can have popcorn that doesn't cost $11. So they're looking for ways to get you to continue to come. You've already bought a ticket, but they want all that incremental revenue. And this is one way for them to capture some revenue from you, or to get you, like this gentleman, to go buy a beer or buy a Coke. Sir.
Just hit on the basic thing, the experience of the game. You get better at home. You can just get the replays, you get the all different angles. The same thing with movie theaters. So why people stop going? The experience is much better at home. So that's the other question, replays. You guys have replays. Like watching I don't know if anybody saw the NBA game last night, the Clippers and the Thunder, and it was a terrible call. And they're showing them over and over again. Can the fans watch those replays? Is there a way to get that feed directly so they can choose which replay?
If the venue is broadcasting that replay, then we can transmit it to you. If they are not, we cannot. We create no original content.
That's almost something just to think about too, as you're talking to those venues, is almost making a cache of replays. They can go back and look at those replays.
I'm getting the hook. I'm grateful for all your comments, and I'm not leaving. I'm going to step outside. I hope you'll come by. I have a business card. I have this. I very much would appreciate it if you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and we'll keep you advised as we move forward.
So you know the ask is to go ahead and like, and he's got to give, so it's nice, right? So thank you, Alan.
Before I close, last week I spoke briefly about an interesting event that occurred, and I want to bring that up real quickly. A young lady who used to come to 1 Million Cups sent me an email after I found out she changed careers, and I said, congratulations. And, you know, how did you come about getting involved with a charity out of Guatemala? And she said, I saw this posting, and I sold everything I owned and bought a one-way ticket and went to Guatemala, where I now run a nonprofit for children abused and neglected. And so I was floored as I'm reading this, and she said one of the reasons is the inspiration that all the entrepreneurs coming to pitch at 1 Million Cups gave to her, because she saw people that were passionate, engaged, and loving what they were doing, and she realized that she was not, and that was her impetus to do that. The really cool thing is how the community rallied around this, and in particular what I want to do is, I know he's going to hate me for doing this, but there's a young man here in this room by the name of Adam who used to work at Disney, reached out to Disney, reached out to the young lady by the name of Chastity, said, what do you need at the children's home? And he's now gathering hygiene products, so Goodwipes, we need to talk, and other goods, and helping her out. And if you remember, she's also raising funds through running a half marathon for the charity. And so if you have any questions, if you want to participate in maybe putting together a goodie box or something, come to me. But again, Adam, thank you for reaching out and going the extra mile. Anyone interested? Apparently, who wants to go to the event on? We've got some cards. Come on down. Bring the cards. Bring the cards. We'll do a quick raffle.